Yeah, May 19th, 2023. Warmish, sunny day in the beautiful Pacific Northwest city of Vancouver, British Columbia. I'll be entering my studio. Today is actually the birthday of one of my nephews, who I am working on a sculpture for his high school graduation. And the other nephew, Lucky, who's also graduating, I'm also working on his. And I get to spend some hours in my precious studio. This place is so very important to me. I was already out here a little earlier. Oh, there's a nice little shine of brightness. It's I'm gonna get a little dusty right now. I'm just gonna take a plunge, get my coveralls on, and start doing a little bit of sanding on these sculptures. I'm not gonna go too far on it today, but just plug away, and then that way I will do a little advancing on my sculptures. Yeah. I had an interesting night at the ball field last night. Our team, we kind of have a relatively strong team as far as our league is concerned. Sometimes we cross over and play different leagues, and then the competition seems to be a little bit better, but within our little league, we kind of have the best outfit. And we have kind of the best social scene as well. We're the team that sticks together, hangs out afterwards the most, and we enjoy each other a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little sanding here. Do my best to alleviate the dust flow. We got a guy working in the background here, Brent, and I'm just gonna cover this area right there with a tarp maybe, and that way it'll just stop some of the dust from blowing his way. I've been raised in the country, been working in the town, been in trouble ever since I set my suitcase down. Yeah, so, the old angle grinder, these sanding discs, very helpful. You can get really rough grits and start to, if you see the piece here, you can just kind of work in, and it really does a good job of getting things smoothed out. The dust does fly. I don't like doing this on a beautiful day, so I'm not going to spend too much time. Brent, the carpenter that is in the background there, I don't know if you can see him moving around or not. He's building a fence next door. He told me not to worry. He gets it. And another thing is, these grinders, they do come with a guard. And if I'm doing something with a really sharp disc and I'm grinding off some metal and stuff, I'll put the guard on to do that. But with what I'm doing here, although that can, when it is spinning, kind of nick your finger a little bit, there's no real worry about it, doing too much damage. It'll just kind of go in there, and it doesn't even, I'm not saying it's the safest, but in order for me to get in where I gotta go, the guard gets in the way, and it just doesn't allow me to do what I want to do. So that's why there's no guard on there. And then the dust does fly, right? So I work with a lot of guys sometimes that they don't even, they're still kind of old school when it comes to ear protection, eye protection, and masks. I have a series of masks when I'm on a job site or if I'm sanding in here, as you've seen in my previous videos. It's just insane to me that somebody wants to let all these dust particles into their system and just swipe it off as nothing. And it's kind of equally insane to me when I see young people walking around with these masks on outside. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Like, you know, maybe they're allergic to something. I don't know if it's the COVID thing related, if they're still in fear of whatever, but when you're outside and you're young and healthy, it does make me sad to see people still wearing these masks. Like, not these masks, but you know what I mean. So I'm gonna mask up, I'm gonna get sanding, and so yeah, like you saw me starting it there. I did a little sanding here, but this area right here, I'm not loving it. And you see all those little holes. There are little insect holes in there, and sometimes this happens. You know, I find a piece off the beach, and like I said before, for me the shape trumps all of the inadequacies of it. So I just pulled out another tool right here, and my one of the carpenters that trained me, Rod, he calls it the nibbler. So I brought that on to a couple of job sites, the nibbler. So I'm just gonna try to get in there a little bit, and with this tool right here, it's not the perfect tool for it, but it'll enable me to perhaps see how deep those go, and if I decide to try to get them all out of there, or do I just kind of live with it, put some wood filler in there, and handle it like that. So we shall see. Well, after a little bit of exploration, It does seem like these little holes can be gotten at, but I am compromising a little bit of the thickness of the base. Like this doesn't have the biggest surfaced area to serve as the base, but I'll be able to get some really strong I'll be able to get some strong support up through there, so I'm gonna continue to try to get rid of a lot of those holes. I don't like them, and there does seem to be a place where they do end. So I'm gonna continue with that process. I have surrendered. They're just too deep. They're not, insects or worms or whatever it is. They bore right through there. So I'm just going to get the angle grinder. I'm going to just keep on plugging away here. And I will just get that smooth and I'll just fill it. I always mix glue with sawdust and just fill those holes and that'll be fine. I'll live with it. No big deal. So yeah, a little bit of sanding this afternoon. It's a beautiful looking shape. Oh yeah, I'm actually listening to that Tom Petty album again, Hard Promises. I remember Eddie Vedder telling a story where when he was in high school, it was, he was big time Tom Petty fan, and he waited in line for that album to come out. And that's the album that has The Waiting on it. And to be honest, my first listen, I was kind of not in that mind a few years ago. And then as summer is hitting, the good weather, there's something about a few Tom Petty albums that are very summer albums. So it gets me to thinking if that's when he was creating. Mind you, he was in LA, so it was a lot of the time it did feel like summer. Tom Petty, something about Tom Petty that I really like. He kind of, I don't know, he just has a special way about him than his music. There's something, he's a very, he was able to tap into something. He's a very good songwriter, and he was able to do many things with that. He was able to get the catchy one that was going to hit the radio, but those ones are always just good. Like his band is so good, they're just like they're a lasting radio song that mixes in with an overall body of work that most people, let's be honest, most people don't look at an artist in full. Like it takes, it's a time-consuming thing, especially these days when everything's just on, music is just all mashed up and it's coming at you from, which is fine. It's just not the way I tend to listen to music. I like to listen to albums, get into artists. This hat here has been an important part of my repertoire for a long time. I'd say 15 or 16 years. Yeah, ever since I got to Vancouver, this has been my kind of hat for my studio. And when I am wearing it, sometimes it does feel like I'm in a certain mindset, to be honest with you. I was watching yesterday's video that I put up. For those of you, this might be the first time that you're tuning in. I'm doing 2 sculptures for my nephews, Campbell Cassidy. I call him CC. I found a piece with 2 shapes of C's in it. I'm gonna work it. This one here is for Luke. Lucky comes from my younger sister, and trying to make this shaped like an L. There is another piece that's gonna tie in here. It's gonna be like a written L, a cursive L, and their phone, wallet, keys, holders, Both of these guys are graduating high school, fine young men, and these hopefully go with them to their dorm or whatever, and they put it, and it's for hanging a t-shirt, a hat, a phone, wallet, keys, change, bus passes, golf balls, whatever. It's up to whoever to just kind of add into it. And for me, I was talking yesterday, and I forgot to mention. I mentioned that Campbell's going to Merrimack, near Boston, but Luke is going to be going to Mount Allison in Sackville, New Brunswick. A real quaint little campus. It's really cool, small, beautiful little, kind of a very East Coast feeling school, and a very small community that's involved in it. And Luke will be studying education and hopefully wanting to get into art education. Luke is an artist. It would be hard to disagree with that. I actually, he was, Luke's cool because he caught on to The Simpsons. He got The Simpsons real quick. Seinfeld, he's able to go back. He's a high school kid, and he's able to go back and understand the whole Seinfeld thing. He gets it. I took this one. He painted this one. He just started painting things and had a little thing going on, but he did a lot of Simpsons style. Very interesting, creative little kid. I remember, and he's morphing into it. So the only thing I told him, and don't get me wrong, I'm not coming with any great wisdom or anything like that, but the only thing I told him, that as a young person in high school right now, trying to figure out the future, that is by no means an easy thing to do. And especially if for a young person to go into education and then start teaching other young people with no experience, it's not the easiest thing as well. So the only thing I mentioned was to keep his artwork up. He draws, does a little painting, he plays music, and then I really, really encourage him to pursue his creativity and how that looks for him going forward, and start to compile a body of work somehow. And then if he goes in and gets his education degree, gets an art education degree, to be quite honest with you, it's something that I've thought about for myself personally. I've looked into master's programs to go back and get that as well. Now, I wouldn't visualize myself in a classroom. I'd visualize myself out and about doing something within the community. However, I've thought about it deeply, and there's many reasons why I lean in the direction of not going and getting that, and using the accreditation. I think that what I'm doing is legitimate on its own. It stands with its own weight in what I'm trying to do. Through carpentry projects, hopefully, I do prefer the ones that are a little bit more creative and with my touch of humanity on it. Young adult, and I visualize some young men coming and working alongside me, and we do a mentoring sort of a thing. There's learning tools, learning some concepts of building, getting out, dealing with society, dealing with clients, showing professionalism, being safe, and being able to have good conversations, learn to work as a team, all of these things. And I don't think that at 46 years of age I'd have to go into a university setting, and not saying I wouldn't learn something. However, there's a lot of things being pushed through the universities these days as well, ideologically speaking. And I, for one, tend to want to think for myself, ask questions, and be a very curious, skeptical person. In ways, that's a positive thing. That's a scientific mind, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to ask questions. You can't just trust everything that's being told to you. Look at how many things end up being wrong. All you got to do is go back and look. It's just one thing after another. So, the artist Luke and Campbell. Moving on, and Luke the artist. So I grapple with that. I talk to people all the time about that. It's like, you know, money is important. Unfortunately, you know, we have to pay our way. We're living in a society, and to find the avenue to be able to do what you're doing creatively and combine it as a true meaningful and purposeful thing within society is no easy task. So that's what I'm always doing, and many people that I'm around are in the same boat. So I meet people from all over, talk about this concept, and we try to do our best to guide younger people out there in what we think is a positive way to be moving into the future. So that's what I'm trying to do at Cowlick Combs. I had one of my clipboards. I got them everywhere. I had that down at a cafe this morning, and I said, okay, I wonder what's in this one, and I went through it, and I actually did find a few notes, amongst other things. I got a shopping list with all these healthy whole foods, and you know, like, I got a recipe for a grilled cheese sandwich I saw on YouTube, and it looked just unbelievable. And then I got my Dr. Marina Liarski, a chiropractic, and I forget her other title, but she's worked with me a few times and helped me really regain some strength and mobility and confidence with the way that she goes about her business. She's right to the roots. I really like her. I think the world of that one, and I want to go see her soon. I always have questions for her, and I like her opinion on things and the way she goes about it. Very fundamental, primal movements. Crawling around. Hi!
Hi!
How are you?
Good. So cool out
Okay, so I do have some notes from Cowlick Combs in this clipboard. I'm going to read through them, and then I'm going to send it off. I did do a lot of sanding on this, on Campbell's. I showed a little bit of that process, and I got a lot done, and it was dusty and stuff, so I'm glad. You know, that's a small victory. I like that a little bit. That's kind of what I feel like doing right now. Not too much on this. So Cowlick Combs, and I'm just reading some notes here, and I kind of don't remember what I said, but these are just notes of me trying to conceptualize my studio, how to do projects out of here, and this is from years ago probably. It says, we focus on a creative process, whatever that means to you. The physical side mixed in with the mental, and we explore nature and are usually in nature and working with her. It's to the roots kind of stuff. We respect our bodies and are conscious of at least acknowledging the importance of overall health. I'm a 43-year-old man, so that's 4 years ago I wrote this. And I try to do little workouts throughout the day as I'm in and around my studio. I try to do a few little things. We speak to one another with reason and intellectual honesty and open ears, leading right into an open mind. Then I have a note here. It says, young adults. feeling lost and confused, angry, and these are question marks, disconnected, and perhaps really want just an older, more experienced dude to chat with and bring some things into the open that have been lingering, perhaps too long. It's not a political world when you decide to come to my studio, but we may just listen to the Bob Dylan tune of the same name. It's a political world. Living in a political world. Political world. Great tune. I've been through some rough times, and I've simply committed to myself to consciously try and improve myself bit by bit. I'm very open and provide a really natural vibe and space where we can hang out, have an honest conversation, and work together in creating an artwork that becomes a gift for someone in your life that deserves to be getting something special from you. Now that's just one scenario, is having a young person come in and do that with me. We do a sculpture, and you know, I want to help the person make a gift for somebody, and we really think about it and go through the whole process, going to the beach, picking it up, and then going through the process of doing a really good job on something of quality where this person gives that gift to somebody that deserves it in their life. And it is a powerful, that's a powerful exchange sometimes. It's very healing. And all along there's lots of conversations going on. So how does a guy like me out there, folks, monetize that and have those clients coming to me? So just a sec, car coming. Lots of dust. Yeah, so, or if you're a person that maybe this is the first thing you've ever listened to from me, and maybe, you know, all of a sudden you know somebody, and you're somebody that knows somebody that just after watching a few of my videos or seeing what I do, say, oh, you know what, my friend's son, and they would be very willing to want to try to do some therapeutic work with a guy like me in a very natural way, and help a young guy get outside, start using the hands, learn some tools, start to talk about some issues and stuff like that. And that's what we can do. So if you're a person out there in the Vancouver area, or maybe you know, maybe there is a road trip in it for me, who knows, that'd be kind of fun. Please, you know, think about it. So that's my Cowlick Combs talk today, and I don't know what my rest of the afternoon is. If I'm gonna get going with some more sanding, I doubt it. I might just sit around and think about these things, and start to get into the mind frame of what kind of more so with the shape and how these little compartments are going to work. So that right there, is that what a rant is called? Well, you know what? Again, I'm doing me. That's it. That's what I can do, and that's what I prefer to do from my studio at this time, on this medium, which I'm actually enjoying expressing myself. Yeah, so I actually did quite a fair bit of angle grinding, sanding on this piece today. So you can see how it's starting to look a little shinier, a little smoother, a little bit more polished, and that cool little CC in there for Campbell Cassidy. And, you know, as I kind of veer around here to my little table that I have, I don't know, I always took a photo. I took a photo of that guy one time just saying, you know what, I just wish I was kind of just thin, like just fit kind of, you know. I liked the look of him. He wasn't over the top or anything like that. So I thought it was a good one to just kind of look at. I put the camera on that thing. Sometimes I just hang it off. And I'm out to, can't really, can you see that from the camera here? Is that too dark? The L kind of looks like a dinosaur or a bird foot or something like that. Just one sec, I'm gonna turn this camera off and switch this thing around. There, I think that's better. Okay, so if you see this foot, this L shape, it's gonna be for Lucky. Also the phone, wallet, keys, it's gonna be pretty cool. This piece inside here, that's the Carpenter Brent parking behind me. That was all rotten right in here. So that's gonna be, I'm gonna make that into a nice polished hole, and you can just put stuff right in it. It already told me that it had to be done because it was rotten. Nature spoke her word. So I'm gonna just spend a few minutes cleaning, or some time cleaning that out. It's kind of relaxing right now, beautiful day, and yeah, I will enjoy it. Okay, that does look like a great big talon, doesn't it? Okay, this is taking on a whole different life. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just gonna get away the big chunks of rottenness, see how smooth I can get the sides, and then you just have a natural hole to put some whatever into. I was even thinking plant, but then it reminds me of a joke I just made up 1 minute ago. Did you hear the one about the teenager that went to university and got a plant and kept it alive? Because neither did I. So this will be, yeah, a little more. Yeah, she's a beautiful day, folks. If, again, we're thinking the definition of beautiful is a nice, warm, sunny day. Other people at this stage of their lives do not think that that is the definition of beautiful, because in Canada we have some raging wild fires happening, and it's been that way in this part of the world, like in this area of Vancouver, and but right now Alberta's what's under fire, pun intended. But it's a recurring theme every year. There's like lots of fire action going on, and I don't know if it's more than usual, but it sure seems like something's going on. Well, you know what? The chisel wasn't the answer there right now. It might be later. I just went and got my little sawzall and put a short little blade on it. And I'm just kind of freehanding some, shaving off some corners here in this thing. Seemed to do pretty good. better idea of what we're working with there. Yeah, so I don't know, shadows are playing some better. Shadow, yeah, that's probably better. The sun, so, you know, it's gonna take a while to get that nice and smooth, but big old hole, that's what had to be done. Darkness, I don't have this camera stuff figured out. Something like that, you can kind of see,